Hello, everybody. We're here with the Raritan Valley Hi-Railers behind the scenes again, and this is an update video to the last one that I created from the this module build, and it just blows me away the stuff that Matt has gotten done so far. And for those who don't know, he is on Instagram. He does post pictures as he's doing things to the modules. So, Matt, let's start off with this end of it. What do we got going on here?
So this is an inspection pit, and you can pull an engine on to do some inspection work. Everything is tied in, so there's pit lights that you can turn on. There's a welder.
Oh yeah.
So you want to pull an engine over a car like they're welding on underneath. This also is where the engine would pull in to be sanded and fueled. So if you pull an engine in, you've got, and you forgive me because I'm still figuring out where everything is on here. So you would open up the gate as the engine moves in.
Oh yeah, that's so cool.
And then you'd actually park underneath this sanding tower. So the sand tower, you would get underneath and then pull the boom over. Put the sand, and then same time you would hit the fuel. Move the fuel line over.
Oh wow.
And then there is an overhead crane also that works. Let's see, where's that? That's
There we go.
Oh, here it is. Yeah, it's just little details that, the crane doesn't really do anything other than go back and forth, but it's just a little detail just to see underneath.
Yeah, that's cool stuff.
And then also the gate does open up on the other side too. Where's that? There it is.
Okay, I want to grab that picture.
So that fuel area is accessed through the engine house.
So what are you using to open the gates up with?
So it's a small little DC motor. I'll get one over here. It's a DC motor, 12 volt, low RPM, 3 RPM. And then again, to keep it so it looks really realistic, I choke it down to 6 volts.
Okay.
Because at 12 volts, so it's really running about 1.5 RPM. At the thing. It's a small little DC motor. They're flat on the top. I got these online. Googled them on, found them on Amazon.
Oh wow.
So it's got a flat top so that this piece goes up underneath the layout, connect, and then I actually run a threaded rod down because it's threaded inside up through the layout, and then I build the gates out of brass. I have a brass tube that just fits over that, a little bit of glue, slide it over, and then it holds it to the threaded rod.
Quick question on that. So when you install that, do you actually have a limit switch, or you just limit?
No, you're not doing it by eye. So it's,
okay.
It's got a actuate switch, so you got to be careful when you're opening and closing them.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you were using...
You could do a limit switch, but it's how crazy am I going to start doing that? Yeah. Especially something that's going to get used 3-4 times a year.
Oh my! It's just, and I love the weathering that you've done on this.
Well, again, my coal company, my fictional Raritan Valley Coal Company, they're running on fumes. They don't do a lot of maintenance.
Running on fumes.
So the engine house hasn't been weathered yet. I just finished that up. But then again, so if you look down at the doors, you got all the doors. So let's see, we're the rear. So like track 3. I can open up all the doors.
Oh wow. Very nice. It's just insane what you have going on here. I mean, I can't even imagine the amount of hours that you have.
Everything tells a story, and it's not necessarily my story. I mean, a lot of this stuff, I find stuff online, and I read a little bit about the history, and I kind of think, oh, that's kind of cool, let me mimic that. So like this is a perfect example. There actually is a railroad that uses an old covered hopper as a sand tower. But their old sand tower stands still next to it because they don't use it anymore, but they do use it to just dry the sand and keep the sand dry.
Okay.
So that's what I mimicked here. Like that's the old sanding tower. So they do still drop the sand into this pit, conveyor it up, and then it dries in here. And then there's the so they'll have a boiler in there to help dry the sand. So there's my boiler.
Oh, that's so cool.
That dries the sand, and then it's piped in through here, and then it's all air driven. So there's the compressor that pushes the air. But like right now, you can see they have a trouble light flashing. So
yeah,
the mechanics up there trying to
figure out what's going on, right?
Yeah, they might have to call over to the service garage and get Dakman to come over and figure out what's the matter with it.
And where are you getting your switches from? These are cool switches.
Online. I get them from, what's the name of the company? Did I get them off eBay? Or not eBay, I get them off Amazon.
Amazon?
As you can see, my Amazon collection of stuff over there. They're made by a company, IT Maintenance Solutions.
IT Maintenance Solutions, okay.
Yeah, they're about $6 a piece.
I'm going to see if I can get inside here.
Yeah, there's a lot
of
these.
Wow, look at that. Oh, man.
And then I can control so if I turn the interior light off, you just get the cabinets.
Okay. Wow. I mean, the level of detail inside there. And then we have, I'm assuming this is
like a break room.
Okay.
I like the guy with the tattoo on his arm.
Wow. That's nice in there, too. And this is all going to be dead rail, as we talked before. Correct?
This back here. So this, I left 3 rail because, there might be some members that want to play in here, but it's usually just, myself, Losi. There's a few of the guys that just play. So I left that 3 rail, but all of the guys who do all have dead rail too. So I left all this stuff off dead rail.
Okay. And I'm going to assume that gate is on the motor as well?
Yes. So like when you would come in, so this is called a hostler shed.
Okay.
So, if you know anything about like the old days of railroading, engines being moved in and out of the engine house and being moved around the facility were always moved by a hostler because he knew the facilities. So whoever was bringing the engine would bring it to a point, drop it, hostler would take it, and he'd move it into where it has to go.
Oh.
So you come to there, and then when he's ready to move the engine over and the things, they'll open the gate.
Wow.
Well, obviously you would want the transfer bridge there. So the transfer bridge would be sitting over there.
And you have another control panel over here.
Oh, there's tons of control panels. You got one here. There's one up here. This one will be for the coal facility. A little monitor that you'll be able to watch what's going on.
I mean, you even have a light on the...
Yeah, you gotta put lights on everything. Everything needs to be lit. I'll turn the lights off a little bit, and then you get a better idea.
Yeah. And then you have... We're going to pan the camera this way, because I want to catch... And I see you actually have...
The rest of the...
Oh, wow. This is crazy. I'm going to see if I can sneak. There we go. Yep. My camera inside. Well, you said it before. You said you wanted to accomplish bringing a layout to the train show that look like a home layout. And you definitely are doing just that. Because I don't know of any club layouts that has all this on it. That actually, are portable and can be brought to a show.
Well, let's see how well it travels.
Oh.
I mean, I've been pretty successful with all the other modules that, every time it travels, minimal damage. Usually, it's the bouncing around the back of the trailer that'll jar something loose or something. But I mean, I try to build everything bulletproof.
Okay. I like the roof details on this building too. Is this all scratch build as well?
Yeah. Well, no, these are Shapeways.
Shapeways?
3D printed the air handlers.
Okay.
But then this is all just scratch build stuff.
Okay.
These were Shapeways.
And people do watch these videos that I do behind the scenes, and they do like the resources that you name because they look at these videos for their own projects, and they would like to see where you get your stuff at, so they can.
I mean, Shapeways sells a ton of I mean, they're like I've said it numerous times. They're a huge 3D printing company.
Right.
So not only do they print, stuff for this. I mean, they print prosthetic legs. They print, they just had it because I get their newsletter. So they just had an article where they're experimenting with 3D printed heart implants. So
What?
actually 3D printing the fake, whatever they call that heart, and going to experiment with making, because they can 3D print out of different materials.
Right.
So. Yeah, they're a pretty big company.
I guess so. All right. And we'll move around here.
Yeah, they're tight quarters over here.
That's all right.
See this?
Oh, look at the old international dump truck.
Police recovery and demolition. If you have a disastrous, what does it say? If you have a disastrous wreck, Gleets is probably involved.
Does he know about that yet?
I started telling him that.
Wow. So what are we doing over here, Matt?
So this is again, it was a challenge. Somebody's like, oh, you got to make the cranes be able to actually move, rotate.
Okay.
So this one I'm working on, this is a big utility crane. So I've built an actuator inside of here. So this boom goes in and out. There's another one of those DC motors that moves the drum that will have the cable on it. So this will actually go up and down.
Okay.
And then I can remove this to travel for shows. And then there's another motor underneath that rotates the cab.
Oh, okay. You just simply plug it.
And that's it. It just, I fit everything so that the plugs, I don't have to, it literally just slides down on top. You line it up on the...
Oh. And that's it.
That's it. It's ready to go. And then that's this control panel over here will operate that. But then there's two cranes underneath here that'll go back and forth. This one goes this way, but I'm going to have operating drums on those too so I can make the cables go up and down.
Oh, wow.
And then I thought because, the cables... They don't look realistic when you try to use, especially in a model thing, because they need a little bit of weight on them to keep them. So actually what I found, remember these? Everybody used to fish, the old split sinkers.
Oh, okay.
So I'm actually going to put a split sinker on the end because you ever see a crane hook, it's got the big ball. It
Yes.
actually has a weighted ball.
It has a ball on
it.
it.
Has
Yep.
a swivel on it.
Yep.
So that's going to be on there, and that'll keep it so that...
That's pretty realistic, too. And these cranes, but all these cranes will be operational.
Well, this one here, the only thing it has is the lights. So
Okay.
then again, I made this so it's removable. I put it on a little pad.
Okay.
So that was a kit that was made by, it's actually I think it's a German company. Crick. I mean, everything's in German. But that was that
okay.
harbor models.
Yes.
So that's actually a thing you would build for like a remote control boat, like a boom on there. So, but then I added the pad for it and added the little inspection hatches. I added the bolt details. I added the hydraulic lines, because it didn't come with all that. So I kind of detailed it out, and then I added the two lights on the top.
Wow. And what is this facility going to be right here with these cranes on it?
So this is a wheel shop.
A wheel shop.
So this is just where, this is where anything, that would be repaired in place type stuff. So they're just outside. So this will be, again, it's all dead rail. But I'll just pull some cars in here. But this would just be a heavy maintenance area for like moving stuff. This can actually would be used to unload material, and they'll pull in here. So like right now they have one of their cranes that they're taking back out to one of the mines.
Wow. And I mean, with the addition to all this stuff that you're building, I mean, what's your setup time going to be? You think?
I mean,
for setting
this,
all-
no matter what, this is still just 1, 2, 3. I mean, 5 more modules. So and during during setup, you'd have to. This goes. So this is in the back behind. So this you come around the corner and there's the corner's right here. So there's a curb switch on the corner that comes in, and that'll come into here. So then this is the track. If you stay straight on this track, that's the track that actually goes in back behind into Bridgeton, the little town that's behind.
Yeah, I know what you're talking
about. It goes all the way through and goes back out around. Or so the way it's set up is that it always will rotate this way. So you could literally use the coal dump, the rotary coal dump it, but that has to be unloaded from that direction because it's the only direction to work. So you'd come back around, come in through here. You could reload the cars here, take them back out, and run them right back out to the. So that's set up to be loaded this way, this direction.
Okay. And speaking of the coal loader, so as we last talked in the last video, so you're going to have this coal flow loader that's going to load up the hopper cars, and then it's going to go to your power plant facility, and then it's going to go into a rotary coal dump and get dumped off again.
Yeah.
Okay, so I don't know if you watched my videos from the TCA show, where I actually interviewed Al from Millhouse River Studios. He actually watches these videos because it's really interesting.
And then he called me.
Well, but my question is I found out that he's doing a conveyor system that goes from the coal flow loader or from the power plant to the coal flow loader to reload everything for you. Do you think that might be something that you would do, or?
Nah, I don't. I can't see how that conveyor is not going to be messy. So and how long is it possible? I mean, I don't know. I haven't seen it yet, but I mean, usually if you ever look at the videos of like the real place, I mean, those conveyors. So that one in, can't think of Pennsylvania, but I was watching the video, and their conveyor system is over a mile long.
Wow.
That takes, so, I mean, so how do you even compress that down into
Yeah.
So it's I have a few little conveyors that I'm showing on that, but they'll just be static.
Static, okay.
But this will all move. So this is a leveler. I think we've gone through this. So
yep.
So when the cars come through, this will drop down. It's got an actuator on it that operates it in there. That'll come down and mimic leveling the load. And then these would be what spray the silicone spray. So there's a little smoke unit in there that actually will push smoke through the little jets underneath here. And that'll mimic my silicone. And then that'll have another operating gate over there. So you would open up the gate to come in the facility and have the gate as you're going out of the facility.
Well, how many cars does
I think the hopper, from what I did in tests, probably maybe 8 or 9 cars I could fill.
It fills up 8 or 9 cars?
Well, that's all the way. So if I don't do full loads on there, maybe I can get away with 10 or 12 cars.
That's still quite a bit.
It's still quite a bit. Well, I only run trains of 7 cars anyway at a time.
Right.
Because any more than that, just it blocks up the main line when I'm unloading at the rotary coal.
Okay.
This I could actually have a string of pretty decent size. I mean, I could probably do about 10 or 12 cars before I would foul the main line. Because the main line's like over, maybe not that many. The main line's like over here somewhere.
Oh, wow.
But if I'm the only one running on 4, then I can block the main line. So.
Yeah, I keep forgetting you guys are 4 main lines, right?
4 main lines. So, and 4 is the one that connects to everything, all little things. Even other, members have stuff on their layouts. All the switches are off of 4. Just because 4 is the last one before you get inside, the layout. So.
Okay. And And here you got some more work
So
done.
that's another crane that'll go back and forth. None of this is just hooked up yet. But then I'm detailing an engine, a diesel engine in here with a, to create the power, so it's a generator in the back, electric. Just so it's a diesel electric generating to do the power here. And again, everything will be lit. I just haven't gotten the bulbs there, but you can see all the floodlights everywhere.
Wow. And what are you shooting for getting all this done?
I'm gonna try to get this done for the November show.
The November show?
I'm gonna try. We'll see. I mean, it gives me all summer. My goal. I'm taking off Friday and Monday next weekend for Memorial Day, so I'll have 4 days out here. So my goal is to try to get the details done on here and all the fabrication done that they'll be ready for paint.
Okay.
That I'm going to do last.
Oh, the cold flow.
Because I can't really reach anything easily. So once this is all done, I can break this apart and it's just that module. Then I can work on that. Because unfortunately, I can't do it in pieces because it's going to have to all go together and get done as this. So I really need to be up close to it to be able to, a lot of times I'll take the buildings, I'll work on the buildings on the bench and then put them on. I can't do that with that one because there's too many mechanical parts inside.
Okay.
So I can't pull that building apart. And remember I had a manual handle for the lag.
Yes.
So I decided against that, and you can actually see it in there. So I bought a heavy duty actuator. Because these little actuators, I was afraid if there was like coal in there or something that something
would jam up.
But this one here is rated for 150 pounds. So
what? Wow.
Well, they have actuators that they're up to like 1,000 pounds.
Really?
So so when you buy actuators, you have to look at the throw you want. So 3-inch or 4-inch. So like that's a 2-inch. These are 6-inch. The cranes are 10-inch. So it depends on what the distance you want to travel. And then there's weight. So 25 pounds, 35 pounds, 40 pounds, you pick, So when you go on these companies to sell these actuators, I mean, the charts are massive of what they make. But I mean, if you have a power hatch in your car, that's an actuator. That's what that is.
Oh, I never even thought about that.
That's what's making your hatch go up and down. It's an actuator. It's a piston, but it's just got a little motor on it to make it go up and down.
Right. So you decided against the manual actuator, and you went...
the biggest reason was because the cable, I couldn't. Those cables, you got to keep a pretty big loop on its flex for them to work, and it was just hanging down too far. It was going to be in the way. I was afraid it was going to get pinched and kinked, and I was like, something. I'm going to bag that.
So how did you create the timing, or are you going to do all that manually as far as the timing is?
So you'll pull a car up underneath. You'll see it's lined up. You hit the button to open up the actuator and watch. So you got to watch the coal start to flow. As you get a good flow, you just take your hand off the switch.
Oh, okay. So it's like you're really up in the control tower.
So on some of the things that I want really absolute control, you let go. I use a momentary switch. So as soon as I let go, it stops.
Wow.
So like these, I have just on. Cause that's an on switch. That it doesn't matter because they have automatic stops on them. So even if I leave it on, it goes all the way up. It'll stop when it gets to the top. That I didn't want that because if you forget to shut it off, you open it wide. I mean, it literally the coal comes flowing out of there. So you just use because the momentary switches are a little more money. So I limit where I use them.
Oh, okay.
They all look the same. So like that's a momentary. That's a momentary. There's an on-off. So they all look the same, but they're they have different uses.
Yeah, I like that it's hands-on because it's like you're really up in you're in a control tower.
You're gonna have to be. I mean, it's gonna take a little, getting used to it because if you open it too much or don't open enough and don't have the train moving the right distance, it's not gonna be you're gonna have to practice to get good at it. Because the first time I ever practiced with, or I did a test thing to see if it worked, I pulled the handle wide open, and I mean, it buried the car. I mean, in like seconds. It's like, so I'm like, that's a little too fast.
Buried the car.
So, because it's the throat of it's a 2-inch throat coming out. So I mean, it's a pretty. Yeah, I didn't want to choke it down too much because I was afraid that the coal would get stuck in there. And what I did for that, just in case it does, I actually bought this. So that's a vibrator motor.
Oh, wow.
So I'm going to have that inside there that if it does get like a jam, it'll vibrate the thing.
You'll have a separate button for
I
that?
have a separate button for that.
Yeah, because that's actually what they use on the soldering machines that they put on back of trucks.
Oh, yeah, a vibrator on there?
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Oh, look at that. We got a Volvo here. Volvo truck. Ooh.
I added your green line.
Oh,
remember last time we were
yes, for the trailer lights. Yeah, because I noticed it was missing. I like the steam or the shovel.
So that old shovel, that
Yeah.
was that was Ronnie's. Remember
Really?
Ronnie's? Yeah. So that was a member that he's not in the club anymore. He had a pretty nice coal tipple. Actually, I think I still have a coal tipple somewhere. But yeah, when he left the club, he sold it to another member who then left the club and just gave everything to me.
Oh, okay.
So this will be for operation of the cranes in this area. So I did the control panel set up kind of like in the areas that you'd be at, just so that if somebody wants to just work at a certain area, they don't have to keep moving back and forth to different control panels.
All right. Are you getting your styrene from a single source or multiple?
Plastruck.
Plastruck.
Yeah.
Very nice.
So this pit is different. So this is for a wheel shop. So this is the tracks are side loaded to the pit instead of over top.
Okay. Very nice.
That crane will go back and forth. That one won't have an operating drum. These two will have operating drums.
There sure is going to be a lot to see on
There's
this.
going to be a lot to see and a lot to do.
Right.
Yeah, because somebody especially like me who doesn't. I'm not a big fan of running a lot of trains, but I like doing stuff with the show. So this is this is really somebody with a very short attention span. This is a perfect. And then that'll be so that big flywheel turns.
Okay.
So I'll have those garage doors will be able to go up, and then you'll actually see inside there. So that's mimicking the big conveyor that pulls the coal from the underground, invisible storage conveyors and into the.
I can't imagine how much time you have in this already.
Well, I started the November show or the March show. I think it was the March show I started after. But I've been working. I'm out here most weekends. Just open the door gently. There you go. Like that? Yeah. So I started after the show. That look, Mike brought us. So we've painted your Conrail caboose.
Oh, okay. I painted. Yeah, because I'm like the poor Conrail caboose.
So now it's. So there's a couple different railroads in here. You got the Raritan Valley Coal Company, you got the Clinchfield Coal Company, and then the Raritan Valley Connecting Railroad. That's Mike's railroad that he is making his dead rail unit to be.
Oh, okay.
So it's all it's all a shared facility. Let me know when you're ready to take all my engines and pull those stupid magnetic switches out for me. Okay. I'm not thinking about switching to the Savannah. I think it's slow operation. Well, that's not. No, don't pull that off. They're only doing it.
Who's that? You gotta use that one.
switch isn't set right. Not that it didn't seem. Yeah, you'd have to line that up to make sure you get lined up, and then a little sand. You could get a little fuel wire here. Fuel it up. So I mean, you could do, it just adds time to your simulation.
Right.
And pull the fuel off. Head out. Back on the transfer bridge. And then you go out and do, your work for the day. And I also have these gates that protect the transfer bridge. So like once you would go past there, you would close that gate.
Oh, cool.
And you got that gate, I'll close it first. I've even got little signs, you read them, it says like, do not pass this point until gate is opened, and there's another one over there that says, leave engine at this point until Hostler meets you. And then you would open up that gate. That track there would be the light. To get out to the main line. You have to come out to the bridge stop.
Oh, okay.
Put it into the engine shed and close the door.
Now you really get to see the lighting effects. Wow.
Yeah, it's neat because I do this detail with the lights for the sign, but you definitely do not see that when the lights are on.
What kind of lighting did you use for that detail?
So that is Evans' design, and they sell string lights.
Oh, it's a
But
string.
you can get different. So like these are mega strings. So that's a mega light, but they make string lights on like Deca and the micro bulb. So I mean that's the little micro bulbs. They're really tiny. And that's just a 12 light string. They come in 12 and 26s.
I like the effect of it. I really do. Got the red alert.
Well, I got the big light out here so they can see, but then you see the light flashing on the panel.
Yeah.
So again, that's a tiny little micro LED flashing. That's all from Evans too. All the LEDs I get from Evans. You pay a little more money, but they do all the wiring for you. So
Yeah.
And I mean, I have some lights on the layout that are several years old, and they're pretty durable.
Jeez, so.
So the little jelly jar lights, again, those are the covers I get from Shapeways, but those are G scale.
Oh, okay.
I actually bought O scale, and when I got them, I'm like, well, these are too small. I can't do anything with them. They didn't fit over anything. I would have to use like, what's that called? Fiber optic. I would have to use like fiber optic.
All right. Let me get up in here. I definitely want to get inside of this building. I like this light on the outside of the door. I mean,
That it's bent over and hooked.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's because the engine. That's because I didn't pre-think that. When I brought the engine, I hit it.
Yeah.
I'm like, let me do a little sidearm light on it.
I mean, that's cool.
And these, I scratch built these light towers. But those are permanently mounted. But these I had to make removable. So they actually just sit in a sleeve.
It's crazy. I love the lighting. Oh, yeah.
It's crazy that everything operates. The doors go up and down. These gates all move. These cranes go back. With this crane actually here will work. It rotates. Boom goes in and out. The hook goes up and down. This will sit on the inside of the main line, like right there.
Wow.
Yeah, you don't. I mean, you can just barely see like all the catwalks and everything in there up top.
Yeah.
From my house, it's 67 miles. Yeah, 67 miles. Takes me an hour and 10 minutes.
It's the biggest train store I've ever.
And
It's like
I'm sure a lot of times the public sees this for the first time. They're not really paying attention to the interior until they're looking at it, and all of a sudden you see, wow, this thing's got a full interior in it.
Pretty much all the buildings I do anymore I put interiors on. Just because I like that. I mean, when you think about this whole part of the layout, the public really isn't going to see. They'll see from a distance. I mean, there'll be some people who, they'll ask me if they can come into the layout and look at it. If they don't look like they're going to come in there and start hitting it with a sledgehammer. I'll let them come in the layout and then take a look.
Right.
But this is really more just for us. Like we'll enjoy and get the use out of this.
Yeah. Wow. And the Raritan Valley Hi-Railers has always been known for the lights and the details of the interiors.
I mean, we've got it. I mean, I get asked that question a lot at the shows. I mean, thousands. There's thousands. I have no idea. But there's got to be thousands. Between all the modules now that all have the lights, it's got to be thousands of lights. And there's probably 400 or 500 lights just here.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is that's the way I like that look. I like because I always think when you drive down the turnpike and you see the refineries, I think that looks cool. Yeah, there's a million lights on those refineries.
And how old is your oldest Evans LED light again?
Probably 7 years old, 8 years old.
Wow, so they last a long time.
So so do the incandescents. So the incandescents are miniatronics. That
Okay.
I just like the look of them, and plus they're easier to work with because they don't have the resistor on them.
Okay.
But they're rated for 10,000. Sorry. So 12 volt, 50 milliamp, 2.4 millimeter diameter, average life 10,000 hours.
Still a long time.
Well, I mean, you figure that out. So it runs. The lights are on for 8 hours a weekend. Say 10 hours so 10 hours a weekend. So I mean, do the math. How many shows you could do before the bulbs start on? Yeah, and then the only thing you want to make sure, because with an incandescent, so LED, as soon as you shut it off, it's off. But an incandescent, there's a filament in there, so you just have to make sure. So what I do is the first thing when the show's over, I unplug everything, shut everything off. I let them, you know, they sit for about an hour before, because you're breaking down, and then when you move them, you don't damage
the filament inside.
Because you know, it's like a light bulb. You ever go to change a light bulb, and it's, you know, you take it off and you unscrew it immediately, and then you go put it somewhere else and it doesn't work. That's because you just broke filaments inside.
Yeah.
So. We have a secret track that connects to the Alaska Railroad so that they can come here. So you're going to want to, wherever your sand thing is, which would usually be on the front, you want to line up with that. So you're going to gauge the fuel boom. We're going to get a little fuel. And if you were going to get sand, there's the sand boom there.
How'd your wife like the blue shoe?
But she loved it. She was dead tired because they got home probably about 1:30, 2 o'clock, and then we had to get up 4:30 the following morning because we had to be up in Connecticut at Quinnipiac's welcome student thing to get Kelly up there. So yeah, she wasn't too happy that day. So you could probably go far enough that you clear that switch, and then I can flip the switch for you and you can go down to the low side.
You heard from Billy by any chance?
Yeah, Freddie called it.
Yeah, their operation.
Yeah.
2 operations.
Just getting blood rose that we used to us. And